Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown!
Well, Jim, welcome to another Thursday Throwdown.
Another Thursday Throwdown, brother.
Hey, this is near and dear to my heart.
I
An
know.
artist that I really enjoy, especially the early albums. And we're going to talk about the first two. How about Elvis Costello? And My Aim is True from 1977. And the follow up, 1978's This Year's Model.
Yeah.
Man, was there anything more angstier than Elvis Costello in 1977?
No. But listening to it now, it doesn't sound near as angsty as I thought it was.
No, it doesn't. It's actually, like I say, when you listen to the music now, very fast paced, quick tunes, very tongue in cheek. And
yeah, we'll talk about a little more angst when we get to This Year's Model.
Yeah.
But,
well, My Aim is True. The songs were basically written in 2 weeks. He had to throw it together.
Nick Lowe produced this.
Yeah, Nick Lowe.
Great power pop guy.
Yes. I love Allison. I love that song.
I love it too, and it means more now because I have a granddaughter named Allison.
Oh, very good. Yeah, yes. The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes.
I remember hearing both of those on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Do you know?
I'm trying to think if there was anything else I heard.
Less Than Zero was the
Less
first
Than Zero,
single.
I think, got some airplay too.
He recorded this album in 6 4-hour sessions.
I believe it.
It's fast paced. It's right, and I think it was the guys from Clover, right? I think we've discussed this several times.
Oh,
that was his backup band for this.
right.
He didn't have the Attractions yet. So he's got the band that later would go on, some of them to join Huey Lewis.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah. But what's interesting, I read he did not quit his day job. He was a data input clerk.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And he refused to quit his job because he wasn't sure if the record was going to take off or not. So he was doing that.
Boy, was he surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it did.
My first time seeing him on live or anything was Saturday Night Live. That was the first time I actually got to see him and put a face to the sounds. And he was so bizarre looking.
Yeah, kind of like a really like a gimpy Buddy Holly. He was like stood all like bow-legged.
Right.
No, not bow-legged, like knock-kneed.
Knock-kneed, yes.
He had his knees in and his legs all askew. And he had this kind of weird way of playing the guitar.
He jerked.
And I didn't know really what to make of him at all.
Right. And he picked the name Elvis to piss people off. Because
I don't know that it angered me, but
no, I don't think people our age at that time cared. But I think the older folks who were into music and everything, how dare he use Elvis Presley's name? And that's exactly where he took it from. And it was, again, we go back to that angst bit.
For all I knew, that was his real first name.
I did too. Yeah.
Didn't think twice about it.
No. Like I say, Allison, what a fantastic ballad from this new wave-ish punk guy.
Yeah.
And he's very distinctive singer, not the best singer. How would you describe his voice?
Yeah, he's got a distinct voice. It's not it doesn't bother me. Like, and the reason I say that is, I remember people hearing Rush and thinking like, man, I can't stand that guy's voice. It's all nasally and weird, right? He kind of went on to become a bit of a crooner.
Oh, yes, very much so.
I think he's got a good voice.
I actually like it. Again, it was not your typical pop rock voice at all. You know, he had again, it was a crackle to it. It was nasally a little bit, but yet it fit the music perfectly.
They kind of tried to lump him in as sort of a punk rocker,
Right.
but hearing it now, it's more like just straight ahead pop rock.
Pop rock. I agree.
He
I
he
think
had that kind of angst and anger, I think, and like really biting lyrics.
right.
Um, and once he had the attractions, I mean, they were kind of goofy looking dudes, I think, on a certain level. I mean, they kind of dressed and kind of
Well, I think that lent to the
fit
new
into
wave
that
world.
mold a little bit.
Yeah. Now
But
listen,
Allison's a beautiful song, right? You don't
it
think of that as
is.
being like a punk rock song.
No, but listen to the songs on this record. Welcome to the Working Week,
Yeah.
Miracle Man, oh, No Dancing, Blame It on Kane, Allison, Sneaky Feelings, The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes, Less Than Zero, Mystery Dance. Oh, man, this, I'm not angry,
Yeah.
but he
For a guy,
was.
it's kind of angry for a guy who's not angry.
Yeah, and Waiting for the End of the World. Oh, I love that song. That that funky groove to that tune, just fantastic.
Yeah, and you know what? So the version I listened to uh had Watching the Detectives tagged
Right.
on. Yeah. But that
Mhm.
was a non-album single.
Yeah, that's the song that actually was what I saw him play. I think on Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh,
or
interesting.
it may have been. I could be wrong, but I thought that was, and I think that was the first time seeing him and his jerky motions and everything. And I remember thinking, "What's wrong with this guy?"
I think the first time I ever actually saw Elvis Costello, I mean, besides from like the album cover, right?
Right.
And I was like thinking, well, he's kind of a weird looking dude. And then well, I mean, he didn't have hair halfway down his
No,
back, right?
just
And he
short hair,
wasn't wearing any kind of leather or whatever anybody was wearing at the time, right?
right?
It's very different.
Almost a '50s character. Yeah.
And I think the very first time I saw him was a video, um, not even like MTV or anything, right? It was just
Mhm.
like a random video
Right.
on some music show. But it was What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and
Oh,
Understanding.
right.
And and I think my dad was there and he's kind of watching it and he's all, what do you what do you think of this guy, you know?
Right.
And I said, well, like he walks around like he's all gimpy. Like I don't know. It's like I thought he was like trying to make fun of handicapped people or
Right.
something. I was like, I don't know what I
Not
think
getting
of
it.
this guy.
Yeah.
But I like the message of the song. Like, what's the fun
Right.
about Nick Lowe song?
And yep.
Um, so that was kind of my introduction. And
Okay.
then the next thing that I really kind of thought about Elvis Costello was I remember David Lee Roth probably about time of the second album saying like, well, the reason critics love Elvis Costello so much more than Van Halen is because
They
most
look.
critics effing well look like Elvis Costello. And I thought, wow, there's probably like some truth in that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Once I got into listening to Elvis Costello, I realized no, the reason critics love this guy is because he's a sharp songwriter,
Smart
great
lyrics.
lyrical content.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, he didn't just play bar chords and power chords and all that. He was playing some intricate guitar chords. There's some quite a bit of guitar
yeah, he was a
jumping off there.
schooled guy,
Yeah.
right? He's
Right.
very, very musical. But there were lines in his songs like, watching the detective, she's filing her nails while they're dragging the lake, and you just
Right.
have this idea that she's buried somebody out in the
Hmm. Throwing somebody over a boat or
over in
something.
the water
Yeah.
somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
uh, not a lot of success in the relationship field, it doesn't seem. I remember listening to Allison, like he's talking about,
He's got a husband now.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but you let that friend of mine take off your party dress,
Hmm.
right? Like sleeping around with
Right.
his own buddies, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, Overall, as an album, I mean, like this, the singles I think are the singles because they're the singles,
Right.
right?
They're
I
very
think they're
strong
probably
tunes.
probably the strongest songs
Yeah.
on the record. But the record itself is great, and everything's about 2.5, 3 minutes.
Well, that's what I like about his records. First four or five, anyways, is
Right.
even though the singles are very strong, the ones that didn't get played on the radio, again, lengthwise, were all about the same, but they're just as strong. They're good. They just missing something. They didn't have that radio airplay quality.
Right. And so my feeling is like, hey, if you don't like this song, there'll be another one on in a minute or two.
Right.
Just wait it out.
Yep. And yeah, there's no goofing around. They play the song and they
No,
end it. That very few songs of theirs fade out. Like you always say, they know how to end a song.
you know how to end a song.
So the following year, it's 78, he gets a band together, calls them the Attractions. And it's more to solidify, I think, his recording and then playing live. And here's this year's model. What an album. This one, I think, most debut albums, especially with successful acts, it's just hard to beat. This year's models, I mean, it's on par with it. Maybe for some, if not a little better.
Yeah, I don't, he, one of those bands or one of those artists who just did not suffer from the sophomore slump.
No, he did not.
Came back with, yeah, probably just as strong a record.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little angrier on this record.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Again, produced by Nick Lowe,
Yeah.
right?
But now having to come to grips with the success of the first record.
Right. And I don't recall the single "I Don't Want to Go to Chelsea," but it was the leadoff single.
It was did not show up on the US. What did they replace it with? They replaced it with Radio Radio.
Okay, that makes sense. Or I even remember hearing "No
They
Action."
they took yeah. So I don't want to go to Chelsea, and was it that one? I want to say it was Night Rally. Didn't make the cut.
Okay.
And they put Radio Radio on for the,
Oh,
and one of my, not just one of my favorite Elvis Costello songs, but one of my favorite all-time songs ever.
right.
Lyrically absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
The song that got him banned from Saturday Night Live.
There you go. Love, Pump It Up.
Yes.
This year's Girl was the other single off that album. And I was just reading today. I didn't know this. There was a Columbia Records had a convention, and he and the Attractions went out in front of the building and put on an impromptu concert and were immediately arrested because they didn't have a permit. They weren't allowed to be out there.
Sure.
But this is one of those cases where all publicity is good publicity.
Sure.
I mean, how bad can that be that a guy on your label just got arrested outside of your own record company's convention?
Yeah, you're wondering if they're the ones who called the cops on.
Exactly. Exactly. But here we go. No Action. This year's Girl, The Beat, Pump It Up, Little Triggers. What a great tune. You
Mhm.
Belong to Me. You Belong to Me. Hand in Hand. I Don't Want to Go. Chelsea. Lip Service. Another fantastic tune. Living in Paradise. Lipstick Vogue. Oh, man. Night Rally. Big Tears. Just radio. Just 35 minutes and change for a record.
Yeah, for what? For 12 songs?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Same thing, right? I think
Yeah.
maybe the longest song on there is about 4 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now
again, all his relationships on here are either ending or barely starting, but with some trepidation.
right.
Hand in hand, if you go down, I'm taking you with
Taking you
me.
with me.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Lipstick Vogue, all those lip
Mhm.
service.
Yeah.
Besides the obvious,
There's on a couple of his albums on the deluxe editions, there are demo versions of these songs with just him and an acoustic guitar. And they are just as good, if not better, than the finished product because he's
it's
such
good
a raw,
songwriting.
and he's such a raw entertainer. Love it.
Right. And well, I mean, you think about what the songs were. I mean, they were basically guitar, bass, keyboards, and drums.
My only dig at Elvis Costello during these first two albums is I wish they had just toned down that keyboard just a little bit because it's that loud, almost a 60s style keyboard that was
Yeah. Well, we say keyboard, but a lot of time I think it's just an organ.
Organ. It
Right?
was an organ. Yeah.
Which was kind of in vogue at that time. You know,
Yeah.
he did a single for Two Tone,
Mhm.
right? So
Makes
little bit of that Scottish
Right.
kind of feeling some of this
Makes
stuff.
sense. Yeah. Well, if you have to pick between these two albums, do you have a favorite? Because you like the original, the debut, the Allison, Less Than Zero, Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes, or do you think the sophomore effort is the one to hold on to if you're on that desert island? Pump It Up, This Year's Girl,
It's tough because to me they're about equal.
right?
They're both just so good. As nostalgic as I am for Allison, I'm gonna go with This Year's Model.
Ah,
Um, Radio is just it.
yeah. I I like I love This Year's Model, but I'm going with My Aim Is True because of the nostalgia of that's what introduced me to Elvis Costello.
Sure.
And more than likely, if I'm on the desert island, I probably would have fought the person that had This Year's Model on the boat and probably taken it
Right.
with me because they go hand in hand, these
They
records.
do go hand in hand.
Oh. What about the listener? You a Elvis Costello fan? You like My Aim Is True, This Year's Model?
You got a favorite Elvis Costello album?
Yeah. We want to know. Check it out. Put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
We got to
Don't be
split the
shy.
fish. Now, Jim wants you to hit the like button.
Yeah, absolutely. Smash that thing. Like there's no tomorrow.
There you go. All right, Jim. Until next time.
All right. We'll see you next Thursday.
All right.